Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. This is Political Talk to JB. I'm your host, Julian Boykin, and today I am joined by Mr. Jonathan Jenkins, who is running for United States Congress representing Maryland, District 6. Jonathan, thank you for your time. Thank you for joining us.
No, thank you very much. This is a great opportunity.
Tell us a little bit about yourself and why you're running for office.
Oh, great. Definitely like to address that. So I'm a Marine, Iraq war veteran, business owner. I'm not a newbie to politics as well. I was a young Republican chairman for a number of years, heavily involved with technology, as far as a bachelor's and a master's and, software engineering, database architecture, whatnot. So I've had a myriad of opportunities within the different segments of the economy, especially on the federal government. And with everything that's been happening over the last couple of years, I've been getting a little bit frustrated that we're going away from Americanism, common sense. And so essentially, I just need to start stepping in. So you know what? I'm going to sign up one more time. I'm going to volunteer one more time, for term limit myself for 4 terms, just like a first time when you sign an enlistment contract in the military, and put common sense. I want to be the adult in the room,
Great. When it comes to the immigration issue that's going across America right now, what is your plan to ensure the citizens of Maryland that you'll be able to keep a grasp hold of the immigration as far as the rising numbers and for example, like gang activity and things of that nature?
No, that's actually a great question, especially since we have MS-13 up here, especially in Maryland. It's been an issue. There's been a couple highlighted because of the extremely graphic murders up here. So while there is some areas like Frederick, they're trying to get rid of the, responding to detainers from ICE and all that, we have to stand and we got to support those federal legislations. That's one of the things I'm going to be pushed for is throughout the 5 counties that I'm going to represent, we need to support ICE, need to support their mission. We have to also, understand who's in our district. This immigration issue at the border, everybody thinks, oh, it's just people from South and Central America. No, it's not. You've got Iranians coming across, you got Chinese coming across, there's all sorts of people coming up here, and they see what's happening in DC and the callousness of people that seem to care in the Biden administration. They're going to come to DC. We need to protect the 6th. I'm here to protect the 6th, whether it's physically getting out in front of them, okay, but absolutely supporting the federal mandates that we already have.
When it comes to the Second Amendment, and it's no secret that a lot of states are having some issues, and topic has come up about the Second Amendment. What is your stance on the Second Amendment?
That's great. So huge believer in the Second Amendment, because once you lose the Second Amendment, you lose everything else, right? We are beginning to lose the First, which is a definite concern. But I'm not going to be that typical Republican that's going to say, oh, I support the Second Amendment. No, I really do. I have a Glock. I have an AR-15. You know what I mean? I'm actually starting a process to go through a federal firearms license as well, too. We need to get back to constitutionality. Every state really should have a different way of allowing their citizens to carry. Some states want to have may carry laws like Maryland. That's wrong. Shall carry. We shall carry it. We need reciprocity through all the states. If you can carry any kind of weapons that you can protect yourself in Pennsylvania, you should be able to come to Maryland. Or I'm in Maryland. I go to Virginia and DC and Pennsylvania quite often. I should be able to protect myself and my family. So definitely reciprocity for all 50 states. Okay. And as well, every state has to have a shall carry.
When it comes to the current environment that we're living in of wokeness and censorship, what are your thoughts on that?
Just going insane. It's something that needs to be remedied. Again, it goes back to the lack of Americanism, lack of education. You especially take a look at the what happened in Georgia there. I liked how the one representative down there said, yeah, we should abolish that rule. And instead, we should put in what the voting regulations are in Delaware, Biden's home state. Why? Because they're even more rigid. You know what I mean? So it actually expands. So we have companies that do not understand the law. They don't care. They give in immediately because they want to kowtow to the 0.001% because they scream the most. We need to get over that. And I think for companies that are not abiding that, for instance, Project Veritas has just kicked off Twitter. Okay, any protections you have at the federal level have to be gone. We need to relook at any privileges that they have had. We need to reevaluate them and pull them. I mean, that's just flat out. Take myself. I have 22,000 people on LinkedIn right now. Granted, I probably only know 17 of them, right? Nobody knows 22,000. And when I announced that I'm going to be running on air, I guarantee I'm going to be bombarded quite a bit. I have other agencies or companies that may not want to work with me just for stand up for American ideals. I may even have LinkedIn take down my profile. Okay. I'm running the risk right now that My campaign website can be taken down. I still don't have my parlor back. We need to, we really need to address this and address this hard. I will be in front. I will champion that. And if I lose my voice, we will find another way, whether it's with Mike Lindell or teaming up with somebody else to get our voice back out there. But we got to go after this wokeness. Put it to
Well
sleep.
said. When it comes to school choice, what is your stance on that, sir?
Our model is really absolutely silly. Your education is going to be dictated by the zip code that you live in. That is absolutely horrific. The federal government spends over $12,000 a year, per student on average. That's a lot of money. My children, okay, have mostly been going to school because I sent them to a private school. It's a little over $8,000 a year. It's better schooling, okay? And it's less money. Why are we not funding students? Why are we insisting funding school districts? Some school districts that have pensions, I know like in Pennsylvania had some, up to 70% of the money they were getting was for pensions. Absolutely silly. We need to get control of that. We need to have some kind of voucher program. First off, honestly, I think the federal government should have a very small role in state issues constitutionally. There is no obligation for the Fed to be involved. They have been providing over the years more and more supplemental stuff. But again, that goes back to how big should the DOE be? Should we be teaching some of these crazy theories like critical race theory, and the 1619 project? That's not us. That was before America. What are we talking about? So we have to watch the federal funding. We have to put it in where it makes sense. And it should be back to, truth and Americanism and all that. And we need to fund students, not school districts. Very adamant on that. That's one of my leading causes, especially because of how the children were absolutely ignored during this whole pandemic.
You mentioned
I am calm, by the way.
You mentioned the word Americanism. What is your definition of Americanism and what does it mean to you?
Best person for the job, fastest runner wins the race. So what? Okay. People just, you are what you are, live within your means. You are, everybody has greatness. Everybody has beauty. It's just, we all have our strengths, we all have our weaknesses. It's fine. Okay. Americanism was just having that pride to be America. This is not the America I grew up in. This is absolutely insane. When I grew up, we always had flags. We always celebrated holidays. This is not the America I want my kids in. I am very frustrated by that. When I grew up, my parents were the type that we had breakfast, kicked us out. We're only allowed to come in to eat. And guess what? It worked. Nobody bothered us. We hung out all day with kids somewhere in the neighborhood, right? Came back to eat, got kicked out again until dinner time, and it just took care of it. If you got stupid, the neighbors told you were stupid and you better go tell your dad before they tell your dad. You know what I mean? That's America. We took care of each other. It just worked. When I went to the Marine Corps, that's why I went. My grandma, she was so extremely patriotic. I just remember those stories. I remember my grandpa, talking about the Korean War. It's just the greatness of America. It's just unfathomable how we have helped ourselves, how we've enlightened the world. And for us not to still champion that, I do not understand that. And instead, the wokeness is actually shutting these people down. And instead, we need to be chasing these people down, understanding why they're not real Americans. They may be U.S. citizens. That does not make them Americans. And that's what we need to focus on, the greatness, best person for the job, come together. I was talking to one woman, about 2 weeks ago. We're just starting to talk and she just flipping out on me. Why? She was going, we are not racist. Here's a woman from China screaming at me that we are not racist. And she was so frustrated because she has not seen that in her life. She don't know where that came from. Why are we living like this? It's just insane. It's a great country. I've been other places. I've been to Mexico City. I've been in Colombia. I've been in, Iraq, Saudi, you know what I mean? I've seen other places and this is a great place. And we should cherish it and we should hold it dear.
I agree. When it comes to the infrastructure, as it relates to the Maryland 6th District, as well as the citizens of Maryland, what is your plan to ensure our infrastructure?
Really good question. One, the $2 trillion silliness, that's just out of control, right? Daycare is not infrastructure. It just was less than, I forget what the percentage is, like 5 or 6% is in there. Typically, I think the Fed spends was about $150 billion a year. They have federal projects and then they give to the states. Okay. I'm okay with that a little bit. If it supports, interstate commerce, and the ports and things like that, so we can still have commerce, allow people to travel. that's okay. We need to keep up bridges, need to keep up roads, but no pet projects. I think we need to truly understand what adds the most value, spend money where it belongs. Yes, I do understand that supposedly there is a $2 trillion backlog of infrastructure fixes, but we got to fix some other things, how we execute these contracts. Can we introduce more small businesses to get involved? Should we have wage caps? There's certain contracts where you have to make certain wages. Why is that? Why don't we bid on the right folks? Why don't we add other metrics in there like quality? Okay. Los Angeles, remember there was a massive, was it the earthquake years ago, and they paid one of their guys a tremendous amount of money for having 24-hour crews banging it out. Why can't we think differently? Why do these projects have to take a year to fix a bridge? Hey, so no, here's our plan, 4 months. This is what it is. It's 24 hours, but we're going to bang it out. Let's be smarter. Let's treat it as a business. So we have to worry about 270, 15. We have to worry about the 3 counties up top. Sometimes they've been ignored on what's needed out there too, especially with the bridges. But accountability, understanding what the situation is, putting a prioritized list together of what makes sense. And so to start on that, I've already made contacts out to most of the state legislators within the 6, be they delegates or state reps. Next week, I'll be calling all of the county folks as well, because I just want to understand. I'm not an expert in these, they are. So part of my plan is actually talking to them, understanding, and collectively trying to understand how we best approach this.
Last question. Why should people vote for you?
I'm the best choice. And I say that not out of ego, but this is something that we just have to get done. And I am a leader. I am not a politician. My goal is just to kind of right the ship. We need an adult in the room. We need to be able to fight back and have a voice. I'm going to be unapologetic. Something happens to me when I'm all done, my life's fine. Why? I'm going back to 2 great kids. I'm cool. But while I'm there, I am fighting. I fought in Iraq. I can fight here, and I'm going to fight here. I am unapologetic. I cannot be intimidated, and I'll be there every day for you. Walk in the district. I will spend more time in the district than in DC. Granted, I hate that drive anyway, but which helps. But it's being out there and understanding the people and what they need and talking to everybody.
If anybody wants to get in contact with you, ask me more questions, or make a donation to your campaign, how can they get in contact with you?
Great. I really appreciate that. So again, just go to voteforjenkins.us. Okay. So VOTE 4 Jenkins.us. Just go there, check out our issues. You can also email me at jonathan@voteforjenkins.us. I really welcome all the input. I don't know everything. I never will know everything. I need input of where we need to go. I am very smart, but I need input, and I need to understand where we best put my effort and our energies.
Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Jonathan Jenkins, who is running for U.S. Congress representing District 6 out of Maryland. Thank you for your time, sir, and best of luck in your campaign.
Hoorah. Thank you.